I think most of us want the same thing, a life that feels like it's gently working with us, to be the girl things seems to fall into place for, the one who trusts that what you want isn't just random, and that wanting more doesn't make her ungrateful. Lately, people have been calling this the lucky girl syndrome. You might have heard of it. But what if this isn't just luck? What if it's a learned skill, a way of noticing opportunity and unapologetically go after our dreams and goals? In this video, I want to learn this with you, how to stop waiting for permission and to start moving through life like it's already on your side. So let's talk about what luck really is and how you might already be closer to it than you think. Once in a while, this lucky girl syndrome kind of resurfaces the internet, and this time around I wanna catch it because I feel like I've always actually kind of been living my life this way without really calling it that. Not because life always goes the way I want it to, but because somehow I always feel like it works out in the end, in a different way than I expected or in a better way than I expected. I want to just take you along these couple of days and let's talk about the lucky girl syndrome and how I apply that to my life, how I'm consciously embodying this energy and this persona, and how you can too. Let's go. So what is this lucky girl syndrome? Honestly, it's a mindset, first and foremost. A mindset of a default assumption that this is somehow always going to work out for me. It's not magic. And it certainly isn't like some woo-woo baseless stuff where you just sit back and let things come to you. Spoiler alert, that really doesn't work in any scenario. How I have always liked to define it is that even though things look messy or unclear, I assume that there's an advantage that I just haven't seen yet. It isn't that I think everything is always going to be perfect. It's not delusion, but I trust that nothing is ever really wasted. My mother-in-law is out with Noah right now. She is every Thursday, and she was just about to leave with the diaper bag, which I had packed for her. I didn't remember that I had put my wallet in there, but last minute she decided to bring another stroller, which means she couldn't bring that bag. And in turns, I found my wallet, and now I'm able to bring my wallet with me, which is very essential when you're going for coffee. The lucky girl syndrome isn't about this happening more to you. It's about being aware of when it happens, constantly seeing it, acknowledging it, and being grateful for it. And in returns, you keep seeing these things, you keep noticing them, and it feels like it happens more then. I want to be really clear about something first. This isn't about toxic positivity. It's not about pretending that everything is fine or forcing yourself to feel grateful when you're exhausted or disappointed or even hurting. Trust doesn't live instead of negative emotions, it lives underneath them. You're allowed to feel frustrated and still trust yourself, still believe that your life isn't randomly happening to you. A lot of us grow up learning that desire is something to be suspicious of, that what we want is unrealistic, naive, or only really possible for other people. But the truth is, having desires doesn't make you entitled, it makes you human. And you're worthy of the things that you want, even before you know how they'll happen. When something feels hard or unfair, instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Try to ask, okay, how is this secretly helping me? Not to deny the hardship, but to stop handing your power over to it. Because trust isn't believing something will go wrong. It's believing that you are still here, still capable, and you're still allowed to want more, even when things don't go the way that you hoped. I am cooking spaghetti bolognese tonight. In Korea, you just call it ragu pasta. Let's get to it. I think the greatest difference that has ever happened to me in my life, on the very most basic level of life, that was when I finally started to realize that my thoughts come before emotion and not the other way around. If an emotion has arisen and it's not a direct result of something that I just thought about, it's still able to be controlled with new thoughts, with every reframing of reality, so to say, in your mind. Everything can be viewed in a different perspective constantly. It's just like the whole apartment thing as well. When I was being told that we're not gonna get the place, I was being so negative and so sad. But after a little while, I really sat with it and I thought, okay, it's because something else is better for us and meant for us out there. You know the story. Turns out that we eventually got the place. Another thing to be grateful for, another thing to acknowledge the luck and abundance that comes with believing that life is not something that happens to you, but something that you are constantly collaborating with the universe to create.
엄마 먼저.
Friendly reminder to burp your home. It's been like terrible pollution the past couple of days, so I haven't been able to open a single window. And it just makes you feel so like taptape. What is that in English? Like, ugh, you know? Yeah, now fresh air, yay! Okay, so we've talked a lot about what this lucky girl mindset is and a little bit about how I practice it in my daily life, but I think it's important to really emphasize how it works, because we can theorize as much as we can, but we're never going to get any results if we don't actually put it into action. And that is the whole key behind this mindset or this way of life. It's good. Is that there's always action attached to your manifestation, your lucky girl energy. So let's talk practice today. I strongly believe that the universe is such a clear feedback loop, and what that means I'll explain to you very simply. Okay, we already established that this mindset is about expecting positive outcomes, whether or not we can see them or not. What that does is that it shapes where your attention goes. Where we put our attention is where we will put our actions and your choices in life. Where you put your choices dictates your outcome. And because you have this mindset, your outcomes will always be somewhat favorable, maybe in ways that you couldn't even see. And because of that, you keep expecting positive outcomes. And so we've created a loop. This isn't just a social media mindset trend. It's something that's actually been studied. Psychology shows that when you internalize an identity, it changes how you behave in subtle ways, like your body language, your tone, the risks you're willing to take. And people respond to that. We trust confidence more easily. We offer help more readily. We mirror the cues that we're given. So when you start to move through life as someone who trusts yourself, the world begins to reflect that back to you, opens up doors for you. Not because of magic, but because identity shapes behavior, and behavior shapes outcome. This also counts for when things aren't really going your way, when you assume that things will resolve themselves, again, whether it's how you ideally want them to or a different way that you might be able to see some positives in, doesn't matter. But when you assume that they will resolve themselves, you conduct yourself more calmly. You go through these quote-unquote negative experiences more calmly. When you're calm, you make better decisions. You make more well thought out decisions, and better thought out decisions lead to more, aligned timing and also better outcomes, of course. My train is coming. But you get the point, right? Everything is a constant loop because everything that happens is a result of something that happened before it. In the end of the day, everything in the world is one big snowball, you know, one big butterfly effect. Everything starts somewhere. You need to take control of what that start is, because it's in your control. Now let's get into our train. It's a new day. This is important. We have to learn to expect that solutions exist. This is not very difficult because the fact of the matter is solutions always exist. You have to tell yourself that over and over again all the time, and you'll start to see it and you'll start to believe it. There's a simple psychological idea called the red car theory. When you start thinking about a red car, you suddenly notice them everywhere. It's not really because there are more of them, but because your attention has changed. Belief works the same way. When you start believing something is possible for you, you begin to see the proof of it. The chances, the patterns, the openings that were always there. You just couldn't see them before. The thing is, when you expect that solutions to your problems exists, you'll find them. Going after what you want doesn't guarantee that you'll get it, but not going after what you want guarantees that you will not get it. It's always worth asking yourself a really simple question. Why not you? Not in a loud motivational way. I mean, just ask yourself honestly. Why not your life working out? Why not you being someone who finds her way into the right rooms, the right timing, the right versions of herself? So often we rush because we don't trust. We chase urgency because it feels safer than listening inward. But intuition moves slower than fear, and it's usually quieter. Trusting yourself doesn't mean you never doubt. It means you stop letting panic make your decisions for you. And I want to say this clearly. I feel like I'm definitely lucky. But my life didn't end up this way just because I'm lucky. It ended up this way because even when things felt uncertain, I believed, and I still do believe, that I'll arrive where it serves me the best. Not where it looks the best or where it's the easiest, but where I'm meant to grow, to contribute, and to feel like myself. That belief didn't guarantee me a smooth path, but it did give me direction. And if there's one thing I hope you take from this, it is that you're allowed to trust that kind of direction for you as well. You don't need the proof yet. Sometimes believing is just the first steps that make that path visible. I move through life with certain privileges. I don't think anyone's questioning that. And it's something that should always be acknowledged, especially when right now these words are coming out of my mouth. Because one of the big parts of lucky girl syndrome isn't about pretending that context doesn't exist, because it does, and it's very real. It's about learning to work with what you have. You know, a lot of these motivational speakers online are talking about unfair advantages. Because everyone has them. Lucky girl syndrome isn't pretending that the world is fair, but it's refusing to believe that you're powerless within it. And this is one of the things that I actually find the hardest about adapting to this mindset, because it's something that I practice all the time, but you know, you rarely end up mastering. It's a lifelong practice. It really comes down to comparison, and with how much we are chronically just online, and that includes me with scrolling and everything. You constantly compare yourself to people online, you constantly compare yourself to someone who has more. And let me tell you, controlling your time online a little bit more is one of the best things that can happen to you in this case. Actively block accounts, not because you hate the person, but because it just doesn't serve you. Follow, unfollow, clean up, and just control how much time you spend doom scrolling. I recently started putting my phone out of sight when I was just spending time with myself. I always do that when I spend time with my family. I feel more inspired to work on my own life from the basis of my own true desires rather than from the basis of where I feel like I should be in order to be desirable online, to get more views, to get more likes, to get people to love you, to, you know. But where all of this whole conversation eventually has to end up is that we cannot place blame for us not being where we want to be. I would love to go back and quote again one of my favorite books ever, Mark Manson, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. It might not be your fault, but it is always your responsibility. And that is my main motivator in life and my most favorite quote ever. It's so simple, and yet it holds the absolute power to change your life completely. I hope you liked this kind of video. I'd love to do more of this sort. Let me know what you are doing in your life to achieve this feeling. I think we can all learn from each other here. I'd love to hear your experiences. I'll see you next week, guys.